Alrighty, I know it's been a few days, like maybe 5 or 6 since we did our last video, Sharp Customs. We are rolling. So, a little bit of an update. Just wanted to tune in and let the viewers know what's been going on here in Sharp Customs. We are never really idle. We're never really idle. Like, we could probably videotape every single day. You know, we're, like I say, we're never idle. You know, we got the 52 Chevy here. As you can see, we've got the fenders back on it. They are in epoxy primer. We did a lot of work to them. You know, we put some ground coat underneath them. The grill still being worked on. We weren't really going to do anything with the grill, but we decided to bang a bunch of the dings and dents out of it. And you know, we're not the greatest at making things perfect, because in a sense, you know, this vehicle going to be an everyday driver. We were going to leave all the dings and dents. We went a little above and beyond. There's the firewall. Check out the firewall. The firewall, we filled all those, there was like 100 holes in this firewall. The camera girl, my wife, my beautiful wife Karen, she tackled putting some patches in. She put some fiber fill on. I helped her a little bit. I put some glaze over. We probably could have did a smooth finish surface on it. She chose to go with a rocker guard, which I kind of like the rocker guard. Very durable. Very durable. Looks nice. Easy to wash, easy to clean. To me, it looks great. It looks great. Yeah, so she's been picking away at that a little bit, and of course, you know, I like to jump in and I like to help. You know, it's like, you know, she did the fiber fill. I jumped in when she wasn't even in here, and I kind of slapped some silly putty over the fiber fill just to smoothen it out. You know, she sanded it, she rocker guarded it. I took it upon myself to, you know, one morning when she wasn't in here, to slap some filler on the dings and dents on the grill. You know, which, you know, if you got the time, why not? And like I say, everyday driver, doesn't have to be pretty. We could have left the fenders, the grill, and the firewall, for that fact. We could have left it all kind of in a patina look. But you start to work on these projects, and you start to get a little, you know, you start to get a little carried away, you know, because you're like, well, why leave it half-ass when I can just go that little extra, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, and I can make it really pretty. So that's where we are with this project sitting here. There is a shit ton more to do. We got to do, you know, we want to get this truck to the point where we can jump in it, turn the key, drive it in and out. And the reason I say that is because you know, we only got technically 2 bays, as you can see. We only got 2 spaces, and very limited to doing other smaller jobs, which we do. You know, the Beamer bumper, it's still sitting back there. I have yet to get to it. It's ready. It's ready to be put into base coat, clear coat, and I will get to it It's not really a big deal thing. It's just another one of those little side projects, and that's the thing with me. I get these little side projects going on, and it's like trying to find the time. And it's not just the time, it's the space. As you can see, you know, when you put two vehicles in the garage, it gets pretty full up. So, you know, when I'm working with just a very small space, you know, and then you put up a plastic wall. You put up a big old plastic wall because, you know, this is my makeshift spray booth. And, you know, when these plastic pieces are down and I get a couple people over and they want to chit chat and talk about this, that, and the other thing, you start to feel the squeeze. You start to feel that closed in, you know. And I personally myself, I don't like that. I wish I could roll the plastic up, keep everything open, because, hey, let's face it, I like my space. I like a lot of space. This garage is not a lot of space. Let's move on. Let's move on. By the way, share, like, subscribe to Sharp Customs. You know, click that notification. They call it a bell. I don't know what really it is, but, you know, click it. You'll get to see our videos as they come out. Now, we're going to move on from the 52 Chevy. And so here you go. I got this. We're going to zoom in on this. Of course, I'm wearing one. Rob, it's coming your way. I will sign it. I'm going to put it in the mail very soon. I got not a whole bunch, but I have a few items that I need to get my ass in gear. Yes, I do. I need to get to the post office. You know, I got a quarter scale Chevy truck body to ship. Get this hat, obviously, to mail. I was kind of waiting for some little extras that I've ordered to throw in with the mix. You know, little surprises. Just to enhance, you know, the giveaways, you know. Yes, it's coming, Rob. Don't worry, it's coming. Now we're going to move on. I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet. I know I talk a lot, but we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the Corvette. I have been working on it. I've been procrastinating a little bit on the actual paint work on the Corvette. Now, normally, you know what, I don't do a whole lot of paint in my shop. I get the odd job. You know, this has been a very big project. You know, we did a whole bunch of mechanical stuff. You know, we put a motor, we put a tranny. You know, we had to retrofit some of the stuff underneath the hood for this Corvette. I had to do a whole bunch of electrical inside to, you know, make everything work the way it's supposed to work. Now, I got the paint for the car. I'm going to show you on my list here. The paint that I received was a 8:1 to 4. Now it is a BASF product, and as you can see right there on my list, so I did a mixture of 8:1 to 4, and I sprayed a couple of parts, and that was the result. See that? Now I probably spelt it wrong. I like to write things down short form. I know what it means. You know, it was too damn runny. And I will show you that. Now, I've got all these other equations. Okay, I've got all these other equations. I looked up BASF's product line, and they gave me an 8 to 2 to 2. They also gave me a 4 to 1 to 2. Now, they're not really that different in a sense. Now, what I can tell you is the 4 to 1 to 2 using fast hardeners and fast reducers, because that's what I was supplied with to paint this car. What I can tell you is that the 4 to 1 to 2, it set up and it gelled in my spray gun in less than an hour. Now, I found that very weird. I do a lot of composite work with resins and fiberglass and gel coats, and normally things go off very fast with heat. So the idea behind using fast hardeners, fast reducers, is you're shooting in lower temperatures, say below 70 degrees, you know. Now, so I've been playing around with these numbers, and I cannot come up with a proper calculation, or let's say solution, for this particular paint. It is a one-shot, and the problem with a one-shot is you've only got one shot. You know, once you start, you're kind of committed. So, let's go over to the car. Let's have a little look at the things that I have painted. So, I've painted the scoop. The first go around with the scoop was, I got a lot of texture, or orange peel, some people would call it. Right now the scoop doesn't look too bad. Now, I did the hood yesterday, and I don't know if the camera is going to be able to catch it, but there is a lot of dust or debris in the finish. And personally, myself, you know, using paint, there is a very fine little bit of texture in the finish. Now, which is weird because I painted the hood, I let it, I let it set up, and then I painted the two T-tops. The two T-tops had already been painted, and I let the hood set so we could move it away from my little painting place, and we did the T-tops. And the T-tops, these two T-tops, if you look at them, the paint actually laid out a little bit nicer. Now, why did the T-tops lay out a little bit nicer than the hood? And there's not as much dust in the T-tops. You know, what I want is I want the camera to pan around my painting space. I want the camera to just, you know, it's a garage with some tarps, some hanging plastic. It is not a spray booth. You know, we fabricate, we grind, you know, we use the mill, we use the lathe, we use the drill press. You know, we have a wood stove, you know. Now, when I paint in this space, I usually spend probably a day and a half, almost close to 2 days prepping this. I have to blow out, if you look up at the ceiling, I have to blow out everything up in the ceiling. I have to evacuate all the dirt. You know, everything up there is a dirt collector. And I spend enormous amount of hours prepping this little space. Now, don't get me wrong. I've done some paint jobs where, you know, they turn out fabulous. This whole dust thing, now you got to remember that the Corvette is fiberglass. Fiberglass being the plastic. The more you rub it, the more you sand it, the more you touch it, it attracts like a static charge. Now, there are ways to combat that. You wash it down, you clean it, you know, with a wax and a grease remover, and then I also go over it with an alcohol-based substance. It's just isopropyl alcohol. That normally reduces the static charge. Okay, so that being the paint, my paint, it makes me really procrastinate on wanting to get this. This car should have been done and it should have been gone probably a week ago. But I've been procrastinating because I've been painting little bits and pieces of the car and I'm not getting the results, you know, that I'm used to. Now, whether it's the color, whether it's the environment, I don't know, but I spend many, many hours cleaning, prepping, you know, wet the floor down. You know, there's just this pre-prepping. You know, pre-prepping. It's like it goes on and on and on and on, and it's like when you end up with a finish like this, you know, you almost want to cry because that's not what you're expecting. You know, I expect more like these T-tops, and even the T-tops, they are not perfect. There's some little bits of dirt and debris in the T-tops. You know, they look much better than the hood. Now we can move on, and you know, when I started this project, basically it was a, you know, do the mechanical, do the electrical, let's get the big block in it, let's make it fit, you know, let's put the gauges in it, let's build the console, you know. But when you do the body, you know, don't spend too much time on it. It's a drag car, you know. Don't spend too many hours on body and paint because it's a race car, you know. I've done inside the doors. I got the jambs done, you know, up around where the T-tops are, down around where the doors are. I actually got the jam in and around where the hood goes. I've got around the doors. Now I want to go to the other side of the car. I will meet the camera over there, and everything on this car fit great. Everything on this car fit great. Now what I noticed just tonight alone is this door doesn't want to close for some reason all of a sudden. And I want to show you something. Maybe if the camera could come past me. Basically what is happening is the door is catching this corner, this lower corner. You can see how it's catching it. There you go, look at that. Okay, that was not doing that. I don't know. I'm not really sure what's going there. I want to show. I'm going to open the door. And I'm going to show something. Check this out. Look at that. Look at the dirt. Look at the dirt falling out of there. There you go. There's a big chunk of dirt. I have blown these doors out for weeks now, knowing that, you know, when you get ready to paint a car, you have to eliminate all that. Look on the floor right there. See all that dirt? All those big chunks of stuff. That all fell out of this door. So the door has basically became delaminated from its inner structure. Now, was it like that when I started this? Well, maybe it was. Maybe it was. But I can tell you right now that this edge did not hit the jamb. Right there, you can see some paint come off because it's chipping. You know, just one of those things that, you know, in the process of prepping and painting a car, especially for those people that are doing it at home, you know, I've got a few other things. Didn't want to keep this video that long. As you can see, that's being held out. So obviously I'm gonna have to, that never hit before. Now all of a sudden for some reason it's hitting. Now I don't know why. We'll fix it, you know, maybe grind some off the fiberglass outer skin. But here you go. Here's another little scenario. Look at that. Remember I was talking about the paint mix. Look at this. Those are runs. Those are runs. I have not dialed this paint in yet. And to me, that's kind of unusual because normally I buy a paint from a provider and they give me the mix, they give me the paperwork for it, I mix it up, I spray it on, I have no issues. For some reason with this product, I've had nothing but issues. Now, for all the painters out there, you know, I've watched lots of videos, and, you know, people show their little garage setups. Some people have, you know, pro-built spray booths. Me, I have a dirty old garage. Now, here is another factor that you have to take into consideration when you're, you know, if you're doing it at home. Depending on the climate that you live in, okay? So I was provided fast products for this paint system. I prefer medium products. I can kind of control it a little better. I would never use slow. Maybe in the dead of summer, I might, you know, might slow the process down. But you've always got to take into consideration your heating source, where your heat is coming from, where it's blowing from, and you've also got to take into consideration your venting system. You know, how you're venting. You know, most people's exhaust fans, you know, mine personally, mine is attached to my garage. When I fire up what we call the vortex, that sucker's vibrating the whole building. Okay? It's essentially shaking this whole building. So therefore, any dust, dirt, and debris that I can't get out of here or evacuate when I spend a day cleaning out my garage, it's just sitting up there somewhere waiting to fall down. Okay? Now, point two. Right now, here in southern Ontario, you know, we are in the winter months. Now, I have my garage, basically right now in the garage, we're sitting at about 70 degrees. Perfect paint conditions. Perfect paint conditions. Okay? Now, as soon as I fire up my exhaust fan, now I've watched lots of YouTube videos, nobody ever covers this. As soon as I fire up my exhaust fan, I crack the door to let the fresh air in so that I get a nice flow. I get a nice flow going through here, okay? within about 1 or 2 minutes, my temperature drops. I have a thermostat. My temperature drops to like 50 degrees. Sometimes it can drop lower. It drops so low that while I am spraying a vehicle, my hands are getting cold. That's cold, okay? And depending on the products that you are spraying, that has a huge effect on basically the outcome of the finish. I'm not going to go into great deal over that, or detail over that, because nobody ever talks about it. You know, professional auto body shops, they have in-house heating systems that basically keep the spray booth at a constant temperature. You know, when you're doing it low budget, you don't have that option. Now, if you're only spraying things in the warmer months, then you really don't have an issue with that. Really, your biggest issue then would be still same thing, dirt, but you also bring into play bugs. You know, now you got bugs falling into your paint. You know, summertime, yeah, it's a bit of a bitch because you've got all the bugs. But I just wanted to put that out there because it's an important piece of information. You know, when you're trying to paint a vehicle, or, you know, for that instance, paint anything, you know, especially if it's on a large scale, you know. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole thing about, you know, your slow hardeners, your medium hardeners, your fast hardeners, and the same with your reducers. But they have a huge effect. You know, I cannot paint this car because our temperature here in Ontario right now really isn't that cold. And I showed you on the piece of paper, I've never actually had paint go off that fast, you know, within less than an hour. So, little rundown. That's why I'm procrastinating on painting the car, because, you know, if I'm not dealing with a texture, I'm dealing, you know, with dirt, or I'm dealing with runs. Never really ran into these problems painting a car. You know, normally I would just prep the car and I would just go for it, no matter what, and never really worried about all of those things. I don't know with this particular project what is different. There's a few things that I don't understand, you know, especially with the, you know, the hardeners, the reducers. You know, I'm learning. Will I figure it out? Well, hell yeah. Of course I'll figure it out. Will the car get painted? One way or another it will get painted. You know, not happy with the amount of dust in the hood, obviously. You know that cars always look better once you roll them out from underneath the fluorescent tube lightings. That's going to be our update. Oh, I want to throw in at the end, thank you to all our new subscribers. We have had actually quite a few in the last week. I think we've had almost 50 new subscribers. Thank you very much. I also want to put out there, I know a lot of our subscribers, you know, we have the quarter scale people, we have the airbrush people, you know, we have the automotive people, you know, it goes on and on and on and on. But I am going to be doing some new easy FX airbrushing tutorials in the upcoming days, weeks. As far as the quarter scale family, I want to apologize to those guys. I know they don't watch my everyday videos like this one, but because I don't post there, if it's not quarter scale related, then I don't post there. But that will be coming up shortly also. So yeah, share, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I know this might have been a long video with me just talking and blabbing and, you know, scroll through at your desire. And I hope our next video is a little more entertaining. I kind of think most of our videos are, they're okay. They're okay, you know, you learn little tidbits here and there. You know, not for everybody, I get it. But hope I said thank you to everybody. Thank you very much for watching the channel. Share, like, subscribe. We are Sharp Customs. Peace. I'm out.